Hey guys, welcome to the Joe Jaguar Show again. Wanted to show you guys. So I finally found a 12-inch telescope. So I know first, to take to dark skies sight, I first was bringing an 8-inch SCT. Then I went to the 10-inch f4 Schmidt-Newtonian. And then I thought it's better, more collapsible 10-inch light bridge will do the trick until, and I said it on the channel many times, until I find a 12-inch. Now, you're probably going to say, Joe, there's no way that's going to fit in your yellow car. For you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, well, you have to go on our other channel that I switched. If you guys don't know, there's 3 channels now. The Joe Jaguar City Astronomer, it's just about astronomy. Then the second channel is Joe Jaguar and Angeles. That's our now couples video, our vlogs, our jokes, our pranks, that type of stuff, and our things that we do together. And then the third channel is Angela's channel with the special needs kids. So if you haven't gone on those other 2, go. Anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I gifted her my yellow car. Go take a look. Now you're going to say there's no way that's going to fit in that car because it's a sports car and has no back seats. But I'm going to hack this thing. Now, I have another guy that I watch too, another YouTuber like myself, and he does a lot of fixing and stuff. And in his last video, he actually broke a telescope. I might do the same thing this time too. Okay, so what I wanted is a 12-inch. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip everything down. First thing, I'm gonna take these handles off here. I'm probably gonna take that tray. I'm gonna take those wheels off. Next is I'm probably gonna cut it around here, right where the tray is, and cut about 5-6 inches so I can lower this from about 23 inches down to like 16 to 18 inches tall. So I'm trying to make kind of like a truss system, but a lower type of thing. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to try, then I'm going to have to cut the round parts of the base out around, like all these round parts over here, they're going to be flush with the square parts. So I'm going to try to make this guy at least 25%, 30% shorter and lighter. Next, I'm going to cut this guy like a truss, like the light bridge, let's say. So I'm going to cut it at about here, all the way down. This I'm going to have to then lower by whatever inches I lower the base. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me bring the camera a little down. So whatever I cut this base to be, this strut here also has to go lower on the tube. Now you're gonna say, isn't that gonna off balance everything? Of course. So I'm also gonna cut it probably, I would say about here, right where this is, and then attach it with poles. And then I'm thinking I might even have to put a counterweight at the very back. Now I could do that with like magnets type and just put it where I need it, or I have to see what the balance ratio is, which is a lot of figuring out to do. It might be, for every, 1 pound that goes up there, 5 pounds has to go there. You have to kind of figure all that out first. But so I'm doing a lot of hacking to this guy to make it a truss system. So this can fit in that small yellow car. The front has like a medium-ish trunk, and then on the back has a little bit longer trunk, but not as deep. So if I do that, it's going to look like a 12-inch light bridge type of thing, and I think I might just be able to squeeze it in that car. Again, it's a lot of hacking, it's a lot of cutting I got to do and altering, but it's the only way I can get a 12-inch in that type of car. Now, some of you might say, why don't you just order a 12-inch light bridge if that's what you really want, Joe? The problem is I did place an order in November 2020. That's like 2 years ago. Well, getting close to 2 years ago, and they're just not available. And we don't know now what's going to happen with Meade Orion, if they're going to release it or if they're going to drop the Meade versions down and Orion only make their versions, the Orion Skyline or, their Dobs. So we don't know. So who knows? I could maybe never get it, or it could be years. So since I could probably tinker with this guy, and it's going to be a lot of work. I could probably get it to be like a light bridge, and I just don't have to work. But there is a benefit. This is actually a way better Dobsonian. The mass-produced Dobsonian, the mirrors, are reflectivity about 88%. Now this one is 92% reflectivity, which is about the highest you can make it. This mirror was just recoated in the US, I believe in Florida. I got the paperwork there. So it's like a brand new mirror. And it's also a 1/6 wave error, guaranteed or better. And the secondary is a 1/10 wave, which is a really good mirror. So you're talking about like top-notch mirror. So it's not your regular mass-produced stuff. So again, if I can take all these handles out, make it lighter, shrink this guy, make this trusses down, cut this tube 80% out, and put poles, it's a lot of work, but I think I could get it to where if it breaks down in 3-4 pieces, I can fit it in my car. So I want you guys to take this journey with me, and maybe you can slowly see how I'm gonna do it. I'll see you in a bit. Now, the feet are actually a little bit, are wheels. I guess they were put on. And because I am tight for space and I gotta make every inch count, I'm gonna take the wheels. I think I'm gonna make the feet, I can't take the wheels completely off because there's this nut here in the middle, and then it's gonna teeter-totter, it's not gonna be balanced. So I don't know if it had feet and they took it out, and then they put the wheels. I mean, these are kind of small wheels. It looks like 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches. So I don't think it's gonna go really over anything like grass or gravel too easily anyway. So I'm gonna use this, and as you can see, it's still about half. I'm gonna use this is a 2x3 as a feet, and as you can see, it's still quite a bit, well, if I go like that, it's gonna save me a good 1.25 inches or whatever. That's probably doesn't sound like a lot, but I could also make the feet a little thicker, where it's not gonna go into the muddy grass or anything like that. It's gonna have more support. So I don't think these wheels are that great anyway, but again, I can save some space by using this as the feet. Okay, so there we go. The feet are out. I just gotta clean the caulking that's here, bag everything, and you know what I should have done? I should have showed you guys what the height was before and what the weight was. So let me go get my tape measure now. Okay, so currently right now we're at 24 inches, but let's say with the feet would have been 27 inches. It's 3 inches tall. So now we know it was 27 inches with those wheels. So my goal is to make it about 19 inches or so, drop it at least 6 inches. That might not be huge, but dropping it to maybe 17 inches or something, it's not going to be an ultralight, but it is going to be like more like a truss system. And let's weigh this guy. And by the way, don't laugh. I'm still using a analog type of scale. Yes, I have not gone to digital, but you know what? I hardly weigh myself ever or anything, so why should I just spend money for no reason? Okay, let's see how we're gonna do this. I think what I have to do is weigh myself. 156. Let's see what this is now. I'm about 186. So it's 30 pounds. Okay, so basically right now it's about 30 pounds. Let's say with all this stuff, Does it really make any difference? I don't know. You know what? That's about 3 pounds. Just those brackets and wheels and screws and stuff like that, looking at least 3 pounds just on that. So let's say altogether, this base, the way it was about 33 pounds for the record. And let's see after what I can get it down to. My goal, I think, is around 20 pounds. So that should be achievable, which is, you know, pretty decent. And stay tuned. Okay, so I think for me, I like about 3 inches of this 2x3 by 3 inch. So I think this is going to be, it's about that square, going to be much better a footing than that wheel, which is was probably 3/4 of an inch. It's probably going to sink, or it's not going to roll. So this will be much more sturdier. So I'll do 3 of those, and then that should be good. And then of course I got to paint it to white, so that way it also doesn't, it's just regular pine wood, so it's, you know, I need to protect it against the weather. Okay, so I have my miter saw here. I'm just going to mark 3 inches type of thing, and I'm going to cut it, and then that's it. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I got my 3 little pieces of wood here. I am not going to spend like any time probably sanding off the edges or the corners or anything. It's just a feet. I really don't care. If these feet don't last a few years, that's good enough for me. And I have lots of these 2x3 pieces of wood anyway. So I will just make new ones if I have to after a few years. Anyway, okay, we are just gonna spray paint them here. I don't want to paint my grass white, so a little bag there will be fine. Okay, the problem with this paint is it needs to be, this is like an upshot, it's called. So you're like to spray your ceiling or something. So to get down, it's not working. It's not a regular spray can. So I don't know if it's gonna work as good spraying downward, because it needs to spray upward. Unless I hold it like that. Now to get my hands all white. There we go. See, that's better. But I got other spray paint I could get. I know, Joe's a noob. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop, I guess, spray painting, because this upshot is just not working for what I need. I need a regular spray can to go down, but I wanted to kind of finish the next part for you guys. Spray paint it, let it dry for like an hour, flip it over, do a second coat, or the areas that needed a second coat, and then screw on the feet. I just wanted to show you guys, so you know you want to try to rush it, but there's no point. It's not going to work, this upshot type of spray paint. Let me get one tomorrow, then I'll put the feet, show you guys, and then we'll take it step by step. Okay guys, we're back. I finished painting the feet, and now I'm just going to take this guy apart, and yeah, so I'll see you in a bit. I also decided I'm going to try cutting it about 7.5 inches. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, right about there. So that, instead of it being 22.5, it's going to be a bit less. Let's see how that works. But for now, I got to take all this apart. Okay, this is what we have. So we have that part's going to be cut. I took that thing off. It's going to be cut here. Since this is the back, I actually am going to cut it flush with the wood and cut off that. Okay, there we go. We have all the parts taken apart, and next step is to cut it down. So here is the difference before and after. next thing I'm gonna do is take this plastic or this rubber end piece. It kind of protects it from the weather, and I will put it back together after. So just do that. Once I have it to the what size I want, then I'll apply this back on. Let me kind of get an idea how this is going to go back on. And then I'll catch you guys a bit later. Okay, it's going to be something like that. So it's going to resemble kind of like, not an ultralight, but a light telescope. An ultralight probably would be even thinner, like maybe over here, like that part. So it's going to be close enough, but it's still big enough to support. Okay, I'm just marking in pencil, so that way I kind of know where everything is set. Just letting my cordless drill charge. Worst case scenario, if I still need to take an inch off here, I could always trim that down each side even a little more if I had to. Cut that by half. I'm just about putting the last screw back in. Gives you an idea roughly what it's going to look like. I'm not sure if you guys can tell how much smaller it is. But let me just put this one in. I still need the bottom plate because I'm just testing it out, seeing if everything fits. There it is. What do you guys think? Of course, I still got to put this. This is the very bottom part, and then the feet go under here. But I might have to trim this guy down as well. So I'm just kind of testing it to see. So yeah, I have to cut the triangle part down a little bit more to match now this, but yeah, looks pretty good. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Hey babe, so I cut the base. What do you think? I don't know if you could tell how much smaller it is. It's at least half. I still got to cut this one here that's sticking out. Okay, so I just take out the corners, and I just use this pot, and there we go. So I got to do that next. I made a boo-boo. So that thing there, I put the telescope on top because I just wanted to check it out, and it's not a big deal, but the fan, that thing poked the fan and then it broke it. So it's not a big deal, but first boo-boo. Okay, for now, I just took out the fan. It's just a plastic fan. It's not like it's a metal. I'll leave the wire so I could replace it. I could replace it if I want later on. But you know what? If I'm going to be making it like a truss tube, the air is going to enter this way anyway. Plus, the mirror's right there. So it should be fit. I don't really see too big of a deal.